So when you signed to what you see now, what he's become, did you see that in the beginning?
Yeah, like exactly that.
Do the Grammys still matter?
Mine does. I thought I heard him say, all right. But he was just going, all right. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, we're going to be all right. And he was like, I ain't say that, but cool. Like, if the shit ain't jamming, it ain't jamming.
Yeah.
If, like if the verse wasn't high, it just ain't high.
We sound crazy.
I survived this week. We still in ATL.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe. It's a good
That was a
vibe.
good one.
It's a good vibe.
Welcome to another week of We Sound Crazy. Your boy Fillionaire is here, and the ATL 757 meets the ATL.
Claude Kelly's in the building always.
What's up? Chuck Harmony is in the building.
Bacon for Macon is in the building. About 75 miles from home.
Come on, you're so close.
That's the name of
Gotta
the
go see
album.
mama.
Right.
75.
So today, y'all, we got a special guest.
Yeah.
You do.
An ATL legend. if you will.
Legend.
Yeah.
A legend.
Yeah.
A Grammy Award-winning songwriter and producer.
Yeah.
Original founding member of the Dungeon family.
Come on.
Yeah.
LaFace alum. He's an A&R Legend, signed T.I., Young Bloods, John Legend, who we just played.
Yeah.
He's a DJ.
DJ.
World-renowned DJ.
World renowned.
Heads Up Music for I Am Mother, Pharrell Williams, partners and brothers. So, man, make some noise, man. Kawan Prather, a.k.a. KP the Great, is in the building. Make some noise.
Well, this one is overdue
Yeah, man.
because you got your hands in so much greatness and things you're doing that you got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of titles, my brother.
Yeah.
I want to know which one scared you the most.
Y'all didn't say it.
Wait, which one is that?
Dad.
A dad.
Yeah,
I
that's
get
the
that.
one. That's a scary one. The music stuff is easy. Like, I've been doing that since I was 12.
Yeah.
So that kind of is like, it's fun still.
Yeah.
Yeah, parenting, that's scary.
I see that.
But it's also good to hear you say that it's still fun. The music side is still
yeah.
fun because not everyone feels that way about.
Well, I know how to dodge the unfun shit. Like
That's the key to longevity, learning how to dodge the bullshit.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It's like when it gets to the place where it's not fun, I kind of, what do you call it? I just extract myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, because I think we get too tied up in these positions and these jobs and who we're with and where we're with, and we take away from what our gift is by keeping it in places where it can't be used.
Damn.
Wow.
Man.
And this is how we're starting, ladies and gentlemen.
That's good.
No, because that's true. You false idols, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like I've worked. Like, I remember quitting when I was at Sony. The first time I was at Sony, I quit because they changed. They combined Columbia and Epic into Sony Urban, and I thought that was like Sony Black people. You know what I mean? It was like taking away how much power and influence we had in the building. Like, you say that while it's John Legend, Beyonce, I mean, Destiny's Child, and all these things happening, and it kind of seems like it marginalized because it wasn't like they gave new resources.
So like lightweight segregation, basically.
Lightweight, but with less, segregation.
Yeah.
But what has changed? Has much changed from that time, from Sony Urban to now? We look at 2024, a lot of the consolidation with UMG and Sony and Warner. Like, what has changed from that time on the label side, in your opinion?
Well, they didn't make Sony Pop or Sony White. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't do that
There's
too.
no Sony White.
Sony White.
Yeah, there's a Hennessy White, but there's no Sony White. Like,
There's no Sony Suburban. You know what I'm saying? It'd be urban, but no suburban.
Right.
Whatever yeah, that's true.
so it wasn't. I don't know if it was just like a feeling. I don't know if it had rhyme or reason at the time.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel good.
Do you miss working at a major like KP? I'm just curious.
Sometimes, yeah, I do. Yeah, when it comes down to having to explain to people who are at the labels about things you want done and why. Because being there, I could help at least kind of navigate and push things through. Like, you think about John Legend, that's a hard one. And our first single was an acoustic piano record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it takes someone. Always talk about. Me and Chuck always talk about this. That there's applying for a job at a record label, which is there's a certain you have to have certain admin level skills to do certain things, but then there's also taste,
Absolutely.
and foresight, and
There's a lot
vision.
of people in these business buildings that don't have taste.
You know what I'm saying?
At all.
And with all due respect, like we're all still moving around, and the big difference to me about anywhere that's entertainment wise is the lack of culture in the building.
Yeah.
Like I'm blessed that I grew up and learned at LaFace Records, where it was small, culture based in Atlanta with black people who I didn't have to explain why all the time.
Yeah,
Like the most I had to say to LA was, "No, trust me."
and that was it.
Yeah, it was like because he hired people based on things that he didn't see.
Yeah.
Like I don't do rap like that. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
Smart.
I don't. So it's like let me find people. And matter of fact, him and Pebbles both. What they did was they came to Atlanta and found the people that they thought were cool.
Yeah.
And showed them jobs that applied to what they were doing already. Because I didn't know what an A&R person was when I got hired.
In a lot of ways, I feel like y'all defined what a modern A&R was at the time because it was new artists, new genres. Hip hop is still evolving and emerging at the time. So a lot of what I saw was like, this is how you put an album together. Oh, this is track listing. This is, you know what I'm saying? We were learning with new kinds of artists because it's totally different than, in my opinion, especially the 90s. It introduced so many different kinds of black people that had never been put through that system before. So you have to kind of make it up on the spot.
Yeah, there was a lot of freestyle involved, but with guidance. Like the blessing was having a producer like L.A. Reid speaking to creatives.
Knows music.
Yeah, he's not saying, I don't know, it just but he could actually articulate like the structure, the melody. You need to come back to this melody. This is your hook. Like you may not know this, but this is the part that they're gonna remember. This is your hook.
Yeah.
And that helped us in structuring songs and producing and songwriting.
so
he found the guys and the people who were producers and let them know that's what they were doing. Like almost like they came through and knighted niggas. Like you're an A&R, you're a producer. What you're doing is writing. That's choreography. Like it's everybody knew that they had a talent, but didn't know how to apply it or how it was applied in the music business.
So you spoke on the fact that you've been doing this since you were 12, and you're from Vine City. At what point did you feel like, you know what, music is going to be my calling, or anything in the entertainment industry is that's the route that I want to go?
I knew I wanted to do it at 12, and I've told this story before, but I met LL Cool J in the airport when I was 11. Like I was in there taking the little carts. You would return those carts, get 25 cents out of the thing. They had an arcade in the airport. That was a routine. So I'm in there playing video games. LL Cool J walks in. I'm playing this kung fu game. He asked, can he play? I'm like, so I'm 11. What? He's probably like 16, I guess, if I'm at that time, right? So it was just a dude.
It just happened to be,
But he had on a nameplate that said LL Cool J. Okay. So again, it's early, so I didn't actually know. Yeah. I knew I need a beat, the song that was out, but he was there doing like promo. But basically, we were playing this video game, and me being the person I am, I just asked, like, what is that? The chain. And that started his story to tell me who he was, what he was doing, why he was in Atlanta. And I was like, this shit sound cool. Yeah. Like just as a kid, it's like, man, that's crazy because he doesn't look old.
Yeah. 16 years old.
Yeah.
And
fresh.
He kind of went on to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of worked out. Yeah, he blew up.
Yeah, like that's crazy.
So what was the first record or the first album that you purchased or that influenced you?
Herbie Hancock, Rocket. Yep, I bought it at Third World Enterprise on Camp Creek. No, on Washington Road.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was it about that?
It was scratching for the first time. It sounded different. I knew it felt good.
Yeah.
And the cover was dope. But I saw the video. And a friend of mine, a dude named Courtney Parham, he was like, that's scratching. And he started fucking up something on the turntable. And I was like, not good, not fucking up good, but like he was just and I don't know, it's something about that memory that kept me in it. So it's like, I don't know, I think it's the musicality in it, the breakdown. It just felt like, I don't know, I just like the energy of it.
Wow.
How did DJing affect your producing? Is that something? Is there a correlation for that?
Yeah, I think DJing helps just based on you being in places where you have to maintain people's energy that you don't know.
Yeah.
And you just have
Very
to pay
hard to
attention.
do.
Yeah, you got to
Yeah,
pay
yeah,
attention
yeah.
to the room. Like when you see pockets not dancing or pockets talking, it's like it's actually ego. It's like I need the attention on this.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna make you dance by the time I'm done.
yeah, by the
tonight,
time I'm done, I'm gonna find the record to get you off of the wall.
Right.
And by the end of it, you want to have everybody on one accord.
Yeah.
So it's just like it helps you understand the idea of building momentum and crowd control and what sounds and energies make people do certain things.
I'm gonna put you on the spot then. All right. So give me your top 3 songs that guaranteed make people come off the wall.
Cheat code songs. Okay. Juvenile, back that ass up.
Yep.
Of course.
And it also depends on where you are too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
But Juvenile across the board, Michael Jackson, Rock With You will do it at 2:30 in the morning. That's the one. Sexy Red. Like right now.
Yeah.
Yo, this list is here's this list, all right? Top 3, Juvenile, MJ, and Sexy
I keep
Red.
telling y'all, sexy.
Sexy. Yeah. I mean, the thing is you can't fight energy. Like take Keith, man. He's a genius. Like his drums and feelings that the feelings that he gives you in those records, no matter what they're talking about. Like I'm not walking around the club, I'm not singing those lyrics in my head, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like and I've seen it. I see it enough to know that that's a genuine feeling that people have.
So is Sexy Red different than the rest of the other women that are out there in hip hop right now? Is there something that she got that they ain't got?
Take Keith.
Tennessee's own.
Yeah.
Keith. I think people don't give enough credit for talented producers, like who understand how to bring out those things about you as an artist.
100%.
That showcase. It's like some people would shy away from the things that are a little edgy, and to be able to put emphasis on it in the right way.
Yeah, that taste again. Skill.
Yeah, taste. Yeah.
Yeah, knowing how to push the limits but not go too far.
Yeah.
That's real producing. It's not just the
Not a
pressing
beat.
of the buttons.
Yeah, it's not always a beat.
Nah, it's knowing how to fill in those gaps and really push culture forward.
Yeah, and even knowing when it's not the beat, but who to call to bring in to make that beat for that song, so
Right.
that song can hit the things that you're trying to, the target you're hitting, I guess, or aiming at.
And I watch it. I get to literally watch a genius all the time.
Right.
And the crazy thing about it is what people don't understand about producing is it's about what you don't put in there more than what you put in there.
Yeah, ironically, so you started with Greenlight, and that record is funny to me because when you start there, it's like it turns into all these other thoughts. But that record happened after I got fired from Sony. So I had signed John Legend, got fired. John asked me to come back and consult on his project, and he had he had wrote that record with I can't remember the guy's name. In London, he had did the record with him, but the track was totally different. It was like for lack of better terms, it was like a porn anthem. It was a very
It was a porn beat.
Yeah, it was a porn beat. It was different. But the song was the song.
Yeah,
Like in the breaks where Dre song 1, 2, 3 Red Light, it was John doing like a Vincent Price, "Do you like me?" Like it was a thing, right? But I was like, but this song is crazy. He played it for me in DC. I was like, can I get the files? Came back home. During that time, I got fired, but I had met this guy, Malay.
Yeah.
And
Shout out
I know,
Malay.
yeah,
Shout out Malay.
So Malay, I had a meeting with him the day I got fired. And I was like, you probably don't want me to come now. I don't work here no more.
Just got fired.
And he was like, no, come to the studio. So anyway, we met, talked. I told him I was moving back to Atlanta. And he was like, man, but whatever I said to him about, Malay is a genius. He's like, he can do almost anything, right? So he was playing me records, and I was like, man, that's like 5 records in one. If you take this out, if you take this out, if you take this out. And he was like, oh. And then he did it, and he was like, oh, cool. He was like, you know what, how about I come to Atlanta? And I was like, yeah, you can just stay at my crib. We can set up. And that's how we started working.
Damn.
Wow.
So we produced Greenlight together because when I got back from DC, I was like, yo, this shit is crazy, but it sounds, it's not produced crazy, but it's a crazy song.
Yeah.
Let's make it like a FAMU band kind of vibe. And
That makes sense.
and I'm from Atlanta, so up tempos don't scare me. So it was like let's simplify the beat. And at one point Malay had like a real driving bass line with a lot of notes, and I was like, no, let's just do the 3 or 4 notes so that it rides.
It's not easy, it's what you take out.
And then I sent it to Dre, and
Night,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, night. Yeah,
To show you the dedication, though, and I know this is true of you and myself and everyone here, is like, my man said the same day he got fired, he went straight to the studio.
He was in the studio.
Crazy.
yeah.
He didn't go to Disney World, you know what I'm saying?
Go cry.
Nah.
Or the strip club.
Or the strip club.
I mean,
maybe later.
Don't be. I'm like, don't expect it. It was New York. It's not really cool.
But to take a
strip club.
meeting, hold a meeting right after you got that news and that life change, right? Shows you like really what it was about for you, which is far beyond the job, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I quit Arista. The day I quit, we were mastering Big Boy and Andre Presents, and it was like a thing. So a question came up, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm finally at this place where we're all too familiar. Like it feels too comfortable that someone can ask me a question that seems kind of weird. I was like, okay, you know what? Let me just take this opportunity to see what I'm worth out in the world. So that day I quit. The day I left, I called my lawyer. He called me back in 5 minutes. Before I got off the block, he said, no, make a right, another right, and a left, and go over to Sony. And I met with Mark Jordan. He was like, oh, you're cool. Send me a resume. I didn't have one, so I had my assistant go in my rack of CDs, put them all in a case. She sent them to me. I wrote a note that said resume on top, sent it over.
Wait, here.
Yeah,
this is what I do.
I mean, it's words in there if you want to read, but it's music too.
Yeah, it's what I do.
And so that day, Donnie Einer called me and was like, this is amazing. Come on in. And that's how that started, right? So I've always been a go with the feeling. Like,
it worked. It's worked.
Yeah.
It's working.
Well, it works if, I feel like I'm confident in my taste, but I'm also confident that it's going to be fine. Like, no pun intended, but it's going to be all right. Like, God got it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I've been on that mission.
Where does that confidence come from? Like, that you can trace it back to?
I'm an only child.
Yeah.
I'm from Atlanta with family all over the city, so I've spent time in every neighborhood, every hood. I went to 4 different high schools. I've been a new person a lot, so I'm not uncomfortable in that. But what I knew worked was me being myself. Like that worked everywhere I went, and at least it got me to the people who understood me.
Yeah.
Like I never tried to fit.
It's crazy how the older you get, like this is for me, the older I get, the more I realize that, because I'm still my only child in New York City, but all these different kinds of worlds and neighborhoods and cultures, and you realize that like in what you're saying about God got you, all those are like necessary crayons in the box.
Right.
Like you're like, oh, that's why I had to adapt to that high school and that neighborhood and be over here, and it starts to come together at some point. You're like, these are all skills for life.
Yeah.
We sound crazy.
You know what would be a good game to play with KP? Name association. He's familiar with a lot of people. Know a lot of people.
A lot of people. I randomly saw you. I didn't know you was in a baby video. That was a random. So
one of my favorite videos of all time, by the way.
That's crazy. Okay, so that's how I got in the music business.
Let me just turn and shift this way, because go ahead and tell us.
No, okay, so well, not in the music business. Like we were working as the Dungeon Family. We didn't have a name, the Dungeon Family, but we were working, and OutKast, like we all were starting, and T-Boz, who is like she's like my god, she's my oldest son's godmom. She called me and was like, "Yo, we're doing a video. Y'all should come down to the video," and kind of nobody wanted to go. And I was like, that's weird. But we went. I had my group go, but I also put my turntables and all my shit in the car. And just in case, we got a moment. Just in case. So we got there. I asked Pebbles, could we audition? After she was like, yeah, you can audition if you're in the video. If you're Chili's boyfriend in the video, I'll let you guys audition.
I just now realized Chili's boyfriend.
I got to go back and watch it.
I was looking at YouTube and the video came up, and I was like, it's KP.
That video so many times.
I saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, never knew the whole time.
Yeah, and so Pebbles had us audition. Jermaine, everybody was there. It's in this. I forgot the rehearsal space, but she said, "Yeah, you're Chili's boyfriend."
That's a good way to start off.
That's a good way to start.
Pebbles, she don't get the credit that she deserves.
Man, what?
Man, it's crazy.
I would love for you to talk on Pebbles. For sure.
Easy. No, she's the person. The confidence that you talk about, like she's the person who gave me the understanding of how to utilize that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like she understood that. Like she's the person who saw me in the camp and how I moved and what I did and what I didn't do. And was like, you know what, you'd be really good because you know how to speak creative, but you also are paying attention to the business.
Mm-hmm.
That came from after the group that I got signed in, Parental Advisory.
Mm-hmm.
We did a video called Maniac. I forget the director, but on this video set, they kept putting a beer, a 40 ounce on my turntables, and I just kept moving it because I didn't drink.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kept appearing. Like every time I turned away, it was back. So finally I said, hey man, are y'all getting paid for this shit?
Mm-hmm.
And the set got quiet. And Pebbles came on and said, like, that's a good question. Let me talk to you. And she said, that beer is paying for the lights.
Mm.
I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. Let Reese hold it. He drinks.
Okay.
And she was like, okay. And from that point on, she understood I wasn't fighting. I just want to understand. And I think that was the thing that made her kind of, I ain't gonna say single me out, but single me out in opening the door for the information.
And it's the information that's key.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
People don't give her credit, like you just said. I mean, you know her work, but from the outside looking in, like as an artist who was a #1 artist, by the way, by herself, to be able to impart the wisdom because she went through it all, it's a big game changer.
Yeah, like Pebbles plays bass. She does a bunch. Like
yeah.
Like
she plays bass.
Yeah, man. Pebbles is so talented. It's crazy.
It's nuts. Like she's dope. Like, but
we tried to get on the show, but she said no. She was like, I'm not
she also from Oakland, so she know the game is to be.
Absolutely. That's exactly what she told me. She was like, I'm working on something.
Yeah.
I can't come do this.
Yeah, but she understands that.
Yeah.
She'll come after.
Yeah.
So word association, right? So that
Dungeon family.
My foundation, my brothers, that's my family. Like we all taught each other how to be artists and producers and whatever it was. Like we all pulled our resources together early, like coming out of high school and just started working. We didn't have a goal of being in the music industry. We had a goal of just doing dope music. And that is the thing that kind of, that's the life-changing part. That's the part where you recognize like, oh, there are superheroes living around here. And oh, I'm allowed to be in this room. I'm allowed to be in this space to be able to contribute, listen, learn. The Dungeon family is, it's no Atlanta without it.
Right.
No Atlanta music scene.
Agreed.
in a cultural sense. Like obviously Jermaine was doing, he had pop, he had big records, but those records didn't showcase the culture of Atlanta.
Question: what is the key component of the Dungeon family that just made everything that came out of that camp so special?
Nobody lies. Like if the shit ain't jamming, it ain't jamming.
Yeah.
If the verse wasn't high, it just ain't high. And you're in a room full of Jedis. So it's like you trust the taste and the opinions, you trust the information, and because we're actually we're friends and we all we got, we know that we're doing this for the betterment of everyone here. Which is the thing that I think translates in the Atlanta part of it.
That nobody lies because people be bullshitting.
They
They waste so
Hyping it
much
up.
time and money.
Exactly.
Yeah, you gotta get to the
Again,
point.
and we started in a time where studios cost money.
Cost money.
Yeah.
So it wasn't we're not going to the studio to work on your little rap. If it ain't,
And it's just that your little rap. Nah, come with
What's a
some
song?
serious. Yeah, it was a song. Come with something serious.
Word association, LaFace Records.
first job. That's my first. Yeah, that's my first actual job in the music industry. It's the place where where I learned how to deal with artists outside of my friends.
Word association, Pink.
That's my partner. Like Pink.
I love Pink.
Pink. No, as a human being, that's my partner.
Yeah.
Like our conversations aren't about music. Our relationship is probably less about music. We got cool because I think we recognize each other. Like she's a little street kid from Philly. You know, she's white, but it's that whole the soul of a person. Like she came in with everything you see about her now is the day I met her, she was that. In the group choice, she just kind of stood out as the kind of renegade. When she came in the room to audition, the group came in. I just watched her watch the room first, and she picked out people to kind of to focus in and impress.
Yeah, she had that thing.
Yeah, she's that.
Speaking of Pink, can you talk about, I guess, because you were around for that very first album, talk about the sessions of that, because she really doesn't, you know, she'll sing some of the songs from that record, but you know, she kind of touches on more of the back catalog. But talk about that first album and just what was even then so magical about her and those songs.
The first album is funny because I guess it's kind of two things. Like she started it, like I didn't sign Pink.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I had just started working there.
Yeah.
And like officially, and the group they were working with Deron from 112. Like they were working with everybody in Atlanta, and when the group broke up, I was like, LA asked me, did I want to work on it? I was like, hell yeah, because we were friends by then. But I think when I met her, I started recognizing that it wasn't just R&B.
Yeah.
And we started trying to make sure that we didn't overdo the black part of it. Like this has never been a conversation, but for me, the thought was, okay, yes, she can sing, but let's not make just because she's a white girl who can sing R&B or soulful that she's Tina Marie. Like she's like I listened to her in the car playing 3 9-Blinds. And, you know, so I understood her background and her influences weren't just what was being put on her.
It's so funny you say that because when I saw the video for There You Go for the first time, and Most Girls, All Those Records, it never felt like she was being somebody that she wasn't.
Right.
And then when the second album, Misunderstood, comes around, it's like, okay, it felt to me like a natural progression.
Yeah, it's just include your what you feel like doing. Like it was There You Go, you saw her skating. Like as we became friends, I started noticing things like she's a gymnast, she's a skateboarder, like all these things. And it's like, okay, tell
there now too.
Yeah, we just have to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Like, because at one point, you know, there was that moment in the music industry when you first get in where people try to tell you who to be.
Who you are.
And after the group broke up, one day she came to the office with her hair pink. She had watched Reservoir Dogs and was like, I'm Mr. Pink.
Mr. Pink was her original name?
Yeah.
That'd have been dope too.
That would have
That'd
been
fire. That'd have been fire, yeah.
But even the fact that she got it from Reservoir Dogs, it's like it's a personality thing.
Yeah.
We sound crazy.
By my own blow, so the profits all mine. How we gon' shine?
Dope Boys. Taking you back to the beginning, TIP, Tip.
Yeah, man.
Ghetto Vision.
So when you signed Tip, what you see now, what he's become, did you see that in the beginning?
Yeah, like exactly that. Like, well, there's some shit, no, but I saw someone who was confident. I saw somebody who was extremely talented and driven, and able to walk in any room and be himself. Yeah, so the confidence was there, and he reminded me of a part of me, like that ability to just, all right, it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
There's a quote where it's in your bio too. Where you talk about feeling like you're Professor X.
Yeah,
and I love that because when I think about all the people that you're associated with, that you've worked with, that you've helped develop, it really is like putting X-Men together.
Yeah.
It's like
it's just recognizing X-Men.
Right, recognizing mutants basically. Super talented people.
Yeah, and I think
they can't all be the same.
They can't be like nobody can be, you know, Wolverine. Nobody can you have to have your thing, and when you use it together, you become a super crew.
Right.
Yeah, so that's kind of like what the Dungeon Family is, right? So it's also how I learned. It's like the Juice Crew, Marley Marl. Like, so I'm a hip hop head. So I came up on Boogie Down Productions, Juice Crew, all these special artists. Like nobody was the same. Like, and if there was a similarity, one didn't make it.
That's what I fell in love with the music, was watching like every label or crew just had like superheroes, and none of them were similar.
Yeah.
LaFace was that way. Bad Boy was that way. It was just these
Rough Riders.
Yeah. Literally I can commit to all these characters.
Yeah.
And I can see myself in all these different people, and there's, different points of view. And by the time I got in the business, when I was like writing for people, I felt like some of in a positive way, like the crews, families, cliques were not the same.
Right.
And I missed that. So I feel like, and for hip hop, we get a lot of information, a lot of documentaries, and we're celebrating anniversaries and stuff too, but I really want to see the same for some of the black music that was the R&B music, especially Atlanta.
Right.
Like, of which you're like a centerpiece of that. It's just like telling the stories about the behind the scenes and the camaraderie, the family, the love, all that stuff. Because that's really the magic.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm like Pebbles. I can't. There's some things that we're doing that
you can't disclose.
Yeah, but it's in the works. It's like I'm in a privileged position to be a part of a lot of things. So I have a blessed viewpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Like I grew up. Me and Jermaine grew up together, like skating rink sleepovers and shit. Like. It's randomly it's Professor X and Forrest Gump. That's who I feel like.
That's the combo.
Yeah. Professor Gump. Yeah.
Ghetto Vision.
Yes.
I never forget seeing that name for the first time on a Youngbloods tape. Actually, UA.
Yes.
Yeah. Down in Macon, we jammed that shit all the time.
Jam right there.
But what was the goal with Ghetto Vision, with it being connected to LaFace? And
literally, I was about to leave. Like, my group got signed to DreamWorks. We were working, and Gerald Busby was like, you're smart, and was like, why don't you come over here? So he offered me a gig. I went to LA and told him, like, yo, they offered me this, and the number was ridiculous based on what I was coming from. And again, me not understanding the difference between a production company or better yet, David Geffen, Steven Spielberg, and Katzenberg. It's like the amount of money they had, they could do more, right? Yeah. And I came back and told LA, look, they offered me this. What I'm supposed to do? And he was like, well, I can't do that. But what I can do is offer you a space to do some of the things that you want to do that I wouldn't have signed. Because we were at that place where I was like, I wanted to do things that didn't go necessarily under the LaFace brand. And he was like, how about that? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you want to do that? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you got a company? I was like, yeah. And on the spot, I made up the name. I'm like, oh yeah, I want my shit to be Ghetto Vision. Like, cause yours is all pop and shiny and tight. You know what I'm saying? And, it's like, it's LaFace. It's pristine. Yeah. And I'm like, but I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Vine City. I know niggas who are talented. I know people who are talented who wouldn't necessarily fit in this space, but need a chance. So he was like, okay, and that's the first group I signed was Youngbloods and then T.I.
Wow. Youngbloods don't get the credit they deserve.
Vision.
Yeah.
I would like to know your Mount Rushmore of music industry people in Atlanta.
Oh, in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's good. It's very specific right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Very well curated.
Mount Rushmore curated by KP. I'm gonna say obviously Rico Wade.
Yep.
Actually, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say Organized Noise.
100%.
1,000% Organized Noise. JD. Dallas. L.A. Reid, Pebbles. Does it have to be 4? Like how many?
Keep going.
I got a big ass mountain. Let me see. Neil Pogue. Like I'm just trying to think of people who have been across the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Michael Malden.
Yeah.
Michael Malden.
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one. A bunch of people are gonna be upset, but I don't know. It's too many, honestly, to think about. I'd want to be on it.
Definitely.
You're on it, bro.
Nah, fuck it, it's my mountain.
You own the mountain, so you good.
No, I think that'll get me there for now.
Okay.
I want to throw just a couple of hot topics, and kind of like word association, but I want to get your opinion on a couple of things. So, and feel free to jump in here. But everyone's talking about AI.
That's what I was going to ask. Go ahead.
And things of that nature. I'm curious to know how you feel about. We're on the verge of it really, really changing the game. I mean, it already has, but I mean in crazy ways. Like you don't even need a human to make the song no more. So, how do you feel about AI? Yo, just give us your hot take.
How do you feel about a calculator?
Oh, I like them.
It's a tool. If you know what you're looking for, you can find the answer, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know, you'll just be led. You'll be looking at a bunch of zeros. It's like it's not. It's
a good answer.
It doesn't scare me.
Yeah.
It just it scares me because the thing that makes me nervous though is there are people who believe that now with that you don't need people. But the thing is, AI is still just data, so it's not a new thought.
Yeah.
It's
only based on thoughts that have already happened.
Yeah, and we need new thoughts.
Yeah.
Badly.
That's good.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
How do you feel about a fucking calculator? How do you feel about a Texas Instrument? You know what I'm saying?
Like there been no mathematician has been made behind a calculator.
Right.
I want to ask you, how do you feel about the lack of Black leadership at the major labels today?
It's on purpose. Like it's power. Like it's not that we're not capable, but it's not ours to start with. So you're steady asking for permission to be the shit in somebody's space who may not be as the shit as you.
Usually not.
So it's like it does come down to, you know what? I'd rather have someone here who's safe and listens and who I don't have to worry about taking attention, influence. You know, it's a very simple thing. Like you don't see a gang of great people at labels because then when you do, it's usually a great person at the head of it. Like then they're not scared. Like again, that's why I say about the LA Reid thing. It's like everybody there was a Jedi. From the marketing department with Shanti, from Falana, the bed, like the assist, like the front desk person, Regina, is who I hired her to be my assistant in '96. She still runs my life. Like everybody was really dope and cared.
That's so hard to find now, dude. Like it's a different world out here.
Out here.
It is. I just feel like that kind of passion, dedication, loyalty, integrity for music first, and yourself, and then artist by artist, product by product. It's just so hard to find.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of information and people are confused.
What do you feel about streaming versus physical sales?
Less money for it, but more exposure with it. Again, man, I don't. It's nothing you can like. For me, I don't think about it much, honestly, because it just kind of is. It's just about learning how to use it. Again, it's all tools. It's AI, streaming. It's technology is there for a reason. We have advances, so we just have to advance with it and figure out how to use it for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people start at the tool instead of the goal. So if you got a goal, then you can figure out which tools are necessary for you.
That's true.
Yep.
Very true.
Yep.
Do the Grammys still matter?
Mine does.
I just polished mine this morning. What are you talking about?
I look at it all the time. I don't know. I guess it depends on who you ask. I think it's if you understand how it works and what it is, yeah, it can matter. Because what it says is most of the people that you respect have heard what you're doing and like it. And ultimately, after that, it comes down to who knows you. It's the popularity of, it's name recognition. It's a lot of different things because it's just people.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it.
He's like, I like it and I like mine.
We sound crazy.
We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
And when I wake up, I
Come on, DJ.
All right,
going off.
Come on, Phil.
DJ Billionaire, fwin.
And then she'll drop. Right there. That's it. Drop right there. Yep.
So, all right, Grammy Award-winning song that you co-wrote alongside Pharrell Williams. Take us back. What do you remember about
Kendrick.
that session? And Kendrick.
And, yeah.
Can't forget about Kendrick.
Soundwave, yeah. ironically, okay, so the day that happened, my youngest son, I was having a conversation with his mom, and it was a weird conversation, but I was like, man, don't worry about it. We're gonna be all right. It was a very that's something I just say, like I don't know why, I just feel like that, right? When I don't have an answer, that's what I go. But that day I went back in the room and Pharrell was finishing this record for somebody else, and the "We Gonna Be All Right" wasn't, obviously that wasn't there, but he had the "When You Know," that beat. I thought it was like a pre, but that was the hook at the time, and I was like, man, it's dope. He asked me what I thought. I said it was dope, but it didn't end. It was no. I didn't think it had a
conclusion.
Yeah. Thank you. And he's like, okay. I started walking around the room mumbling, and I thought I heard him say, all right. But he was just going, all right. And I was like, yeah, that's it. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, we're going to be all right. And he was like, I ain't say that, but cool.
Yes.
He's like, actually, yeah, okay, that works. Yeah. And then then was like, yeah, like, we're going to be all right. And kept saying it. And then he started, do you feel me? Do you like, yeah. So
how hit hooks come about is
a hit.
I'm in the studio and I still get excited every time I hear how a great song comes together.
Right, when it happens, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, man.
It's like
hearing the story, I'm getting excited. That's crazy.
Yeah, but it was very easy though.
Speaking of great songs, you've been part of the amazing career of Usher Raymond.
Ursh.
Yep.
And
Coming Home out now.
He was like, by the way.
Yeah, by the way.
Go cop that.
And we're coming off of the whole Super Bowl, the amazingness of the Super Bowl. Like, what went through your mind as you were watching that show? Like, were you there to see it? Or
I was in Vegas. I was at the game, and about the end of the first quarter, I left and went back to the hotel because I wanted to watch it on TV.
On TV. Smart.
Yeah.
Because it's actually made for TV.
It's made for TV. And I thought about, I was sitting there and I was like, it was this dude talking. I was like, this ain't gonna be good. So I left.
Nah, smart, man.
But no, watching that is like watching a lot. Like, that's a lot of people's careers culminated in that moment.
Yeah.
Like, and it made me think about all the relationships, all the conversations that went into different songs and arguments and what made it, what didn't make it, how, it was a lot. But most of it was just watching somebody do what they said they wanted to do. Like watching Usher perform, that was, it was like watching somebody check their list off. So it was just dope. I was just proud of him.
Wow. That's a milestone.
Yeah.
We sound crazy.
The Esther Roll
Award.
I can feel him moving, moving, moving. I can feel him moving, 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 moving on the altar of my heart. Every now and then.
The Lord is my shepherd.
Mine too.
Yeah, of course.
I feel you, Esther.
Tell her.
It's time for the Esther Roll Black Excellence Award. The Irby, if you will.
The Irby.
It's so necessary that we highlight people that don't always get their flowers for the amazing things. We talked a lot about that today too. So you know the drill. We're gonna nominate people here. Every name's gonna matter, but we can only choose one. We'll vote. If there's a tie, we'll break the tie. But it's time to highlight some people that deserve some love. Who wants to open? I'm opening the floor. Who wants to go first?
Billionaire?
You know what? It came up on KP's Mount Rushmore earlier. He's done so much in the music industry, and often I don't think he gets the props he deserves. Michael Malden.
Michael Malden.
That's a good one.
Okay, in the spirit of Atlanta, I'm gonna say Ian Burke.
Ian Burke.
And by the way,
Yo.
I knew. No, by the way, he would be on Mount Rushmore. He was the first A&R person I ever knew.
Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
Be fucking up.
I met him back in my my internship days, and super nice guy, but like he really doesn't get the credit he deserves for, being there. Escape TLC, like
he managed Organized Noise.
Yeah,
he,
wow.
managed OutKast.
Yeah.
He's been a part of guiding most of us through, like pre LaFace, like before you get to that stage, it was in, and he would kind of expose us to and teach us things that did and didn't work and why, and kind of gave us again that information to kind of cipher through and figure out, okay, we can use that. Okay, let's not do that. We can do this. He was our first like pipeline. He was the plug.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm gonna nominate Pebbles. I love Pebbles.
Yeah.
She did things. She did big things.
Big things.
I'm gonna nominate Maxwell.
The artist? Like
From
Urban
before.
Hanks
Nah,
with
We
Maxwell?
had a theme going here.
Like his hair? Like what was it?
No, because every time I look around, Maxwell is on a tour in a stadium.
Straight
and he's
up.
been doing that for a long time, and he's bringing a lot of black artists with him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Jasmine's on this one.
Jasmine on
October
this
London.
one.
October,
I've
yeah.
seen Joe and Anthony Hamilton on one. I've seen
Fantasia,
Fantasia
Road
on
Mary
one.
J. Blige.
He's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
bringing, so he's putting us in stadiums with his home brand. So
Actually,
Yeah.
that's who I watched Super Bowl with. I was with Maxwell. We watched.
Flex.
Yeah.
I like Flex.
Nah, that's a big
That was-
one. Like
yeah,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
it was-
What?
yeah, it was
Nah,
Max. I was
so-
on the.
I was over here with Maxwell.
Damn. All right.
no, but
This is
yeah.
a good list. Did everyone go?
No,
Nah, the one and only. No pressure.
It is though. My mom.
Man, how we can't.
How can you vote against mom?
That's all I'm saying. So my mom, like that, she
All right.
ring my bell. Watching her and her sisters get dressed to ring my bell made me want to be a DJ.
Anita Ward.
Anita Ward.
Wow.
Anita Ward.
Say it again.
That palm tree on the record. Anita Ward, like I
You
was
said
my
watching
mom
your mom
and her sisters get ready to go out and go like to the club
to ring my bell.
to ring my bell. Like I remember playing that record like while they were getting dressed and they just started dancing and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they like this shit.
Yeah.
And it's like for the equivalent of a 8-year-old saying that, but just seeing how music affected them,
Yeah.
like was a
That's a little DJ in you back then. Like,
Right.
oh, that's what's making them move. Cool.
yeah.
You know what? We love Michael Malden. We love Ian Burke. We love Pebbles. We love Maxwell.
All due respect.
But all due respect, we got to give it to your mom.
Yeah,
Kate.
yeah, yeah,
What's up with
yeah,
all
yeah,
that?
yeah.
What's your mom's name?
Maria Burns.
Maria
The
Burns.
kids call her Bookie.
Okay.
We celebrate mom.
Yeah,
100% for making a legend here and changing all our lives musically. Real
Absolutely.
talk. So,
Yeah.
Definitely changed mine.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Sidebar: Ring My Bell is a crazy record.
It is, and
All
when
right?
you know what when I grew up and found out what it was, I kind of
Exactly.
looked
Right.
at them different.
I was 25 when I
What
found
is
out
it?
what it was. I was
Ring
like,
my bell.
It's sexual.
Bing.
You can
You can
Anytime.
ring my bell.
Anytime,
I
anybody.
never
Ring
knew.
it.
I never-
Ring it.
You thought it
Ring
was
it.
like
Ring it.
227, and you thought like Mary was coming over to bring something for.
No, it wasn't his bell.
Nah, it wasn't the doorbell.
Wow.
in that case, that's a good song to go out on.
I mean,
Congratulations, though, to KP's mom, Maria Burns, a.k.a.
Bookie La La.
Bookie Lala.
You're the winner this week of
I
the
love
Esther
that.
Roll Black Excellence Award. Make some noise.
I love that. I love that.
KP the Great, man, it's been a pleasure. Long
Oh, man.
Yeah,
overdue.
I
man.
appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. And by the way, so June 14th, because this will come out before that, Funk Fest, I'm doing a KP and Super Friends set on that Friday, the 14th.
Okay.
It's going to be lit. If you're in Orlando, fuck with it.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Yes,
In Orlando,
it's
too?
a lot. I already know the lineup is already.
Ooh, that's
it's
gonna be
nuts.
crazy.
Like if you saw me one music fest set, it's gonna be crazy.
You probably don't want to miss that.
Do you happen to have 4 credentials or something?
Like I'll just say Dream is on it, T.I. is on it. It goes from there.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Could We Sound Crazy post up and maybe do some backstage interviews of the
I
people?
think you should. You know what? I think I can make that happen.
Because that would be dope.
That'd be great.
Post up, talk to everyone, get some footage of literally you doing what you do. That's dope.
Great. That's great. Okay, cool. Yeah,
Let's do that.
Let's do it.
Make sure you follow us on all platforms at We Sound Crazy and WeSoundCrazy.com.
And also thank you to our partners, Visit Music City, for holding us down. Thank you.
And shout out to the whole crew. Y'all can't see them, but there's a whole crew of people making us look good, sound good.
Yeah, shout out to my son for being chill.
Shout out to your son for being super quiet and chill the whole episode. All right, so when we end the episode, we go out with a song. I kind of feel like we were already set up, but I mean, what song do you want to go out on?
Ring my bell, Anita Ward. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm still messed up, man.
And
You're
now
today years
listen to
old.
it as it plays now.
Yeah. And even the production sets that up too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Surprise, surprise.
Until next week, y'all. Thank you, KP.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man.
y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
For
on,
sure.
man.
We sound crazy. We out of here.
Peace.